Hello, everybody. It is Saturday, October 4th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Let's get into it. There are 4 game 1s today happening for a divisional series. We're going to talk about all of them and give predictions for who I think is going to win the series. So, we'll start out west with the Tigers and the Mariners. I think my prediction for the series is Seattle in 4. On one hand, you have the Tigers, who are a classic AL Central team, small ball, well, not really small ball, but you know pitching and clutch hits. They couldn't really get clutch hits in Game 2, but they definitely got them in Game 3 of the wild card series. And then you have the Mariners, who have been searching for playoff success for so long, and they've never really had it. But now they have home field advantage in a divisional series for the first time in a very long time, I think since 2001. So, because of that, um, it's going to be loud. It's going to be rowdy. The Mariners fans are going to be into it. And I think that obviously is an advantage. And the Mariners, I think, in terms of advantages, they have the advantage in every aspect of this series. Obviously, the Tigers have Skubal, and that's the only reason this won't be a 3 game sweep, in my opinion, is solely because Skubal exists, and he will get the ball for Game 2, probably. Um, and then if it goes to 5, he'll pitch Game 5, which you don't want to be in that situation for Seattle. So it puts pressure on them. But Seattle's offense is better than the Tigers' offense. They have Cal Raleigh, who just hit 60 homers as a catcher. You have Randy Rosarena, who is built for the postseason. J Rod, JP Crawford, Naylor, and Suarez. The advantage goes to the Mariners in terms of offense, as well as bullpen with Andres Munoz, the closer. And then, in addition to the starting pitching, yes, the Tigers have Skubal, but the Mariners have, I think, four guys who could be aces on plenty of other teams. You got uh, Kirby, Gilbert, Castillo, and Wu. I don't know who the fifth starter is, but although that does go saying that all these starters are right-handed, which means Kerry Carpenter is going to get lots of at-bats in this series, which is an advantage for the Tigers. However, the Mariners are just too good, I think. Even though the Tigers are a good team, and they proved that by beating the Guardians, Seattle in 4. Move on to the other American League Series, which is in Toronto. It is the Yankees and the Blue Jays, division rivals from the AL East, going up in the ALDS. The Yankees just came off beating the Red Sox in the wild card series after Cam Schlittler's dominance. They have Obviously they have Aaron Judge, perennial MVP candidate. The whole lineup is very good, especially all the left-handed bats they have, like Jazz and Bellinger and Grisham and Ben Rice, who three of those guys had 30 homer seasons. So yeah, Yankees. I'm gonna go offensively. I think it's very, very close. I'm gonna go Yankees just because of Aaron Judge and those lefties, but the Blue Jays offense is also very good with Guerrero, Springer having a season similar to ones that he had in Houston, and then a whole bunch of guys like Lucas and Varsho and Kirk as well, who are just maybe not known by most baseball fans, but they are a big part of that team, very important to that team. And, you know, I think the both offenses are very good. I think slight advantage Yankees just because Judge. And then for the pitching staffs, both are both are very good. The Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman, um, Rios won't be pitching, and Bieber as well. They traded for him from the Guardians. One interesting thing is Bichette won't be playing, and as well as Scherzer and Bassett are not on the ALDS roster. So that's a big thing. And the Yankees obviously have Fried and Rodon. No Garrett Cole. He's been hurt since the beginning of the year. And now Cam Schlittler is apparently one of the best pitchers. So I think it's pretty dead set there too. But I might have to go with the Yankees in that one as well. For the bullpen, also very close. But as much as the Yankees bullpen has struggled, um, I think that the Jeff Hoffman maybe isn't the most reliable arm. So I'm gonna go Yankees advantage there. And even though basically every advantage is the Yankees, you gotta understand it's by the slightest of margins, and it could be completely even. I think this is one of the most completely even series in the whole postseason. Both these teams match up against each other so well, but just because the Yankees to the Yankees, I'm gonna have to give it to them in five. That's my prediction. I think it's gonna be very competitive baseball. It has to go five, and it's gonna be close every single game. And it's really gonna come down to who can get the big hit. So Judge and Guerrero looking at those two to see who will have the better series, and that could be the difference, and it probably will be the difference if we're being honest. So I'm gonna say Yankees in five, but you gotta understand it's very close, and this is probably the closest series that there will be. And with that being said, it is the closest series, but the most entertaining series has to be hands down the Dodgers and the Phillies. Finally seeing these versions of these teams match up in October is a treat for everybody. If you are a fan of slugging and just hitting the crap out of the baseball and home runs and lots of offense, high powered offense, and stars in general, this is the series for you. This is a great series to watch if you're kind of a casual baseball fan trying to get into it. This is going to be so, so, so entertaining. Um, let's just go through the advantages. So the first we'll start off with this. The Dodgers got here by beating the Reds in the wild card pretty easily. They've kind of been coasting all year to the playoffs. That being said, they're not unbeatable. That's why they're on the road. That's why they were in the wild card in the first place. So the 2 and the 3 seed, they'll be in Philadelphia. Philadelphia with home field advantage. And both of these teams have been to the World Series in recent years. The Dodgers, of course, are winning it. The Phillies did not. They have tons of playoff experience on both the rosters. I think this is definitely going to be the most entertaining series in my opinion. I think as for pitching, it's even just because I think the Phillies have Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez, and Jesus Lazardo, all lefties. Um, but after that, Zach Wheeler is obviously hurt and not going to play. If he were to play, advantage Phillies. But I think the Phillies have better top end rotation arms, but the Dodgers have more starting pitching depth, which is crazy to say considering that almost all of them were hurt at the beginning of the year. But the Dodgers with Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, maybe Kershaw, I don't know. Um, but I think it's going to be even pitching. The Phillies have the better arms. Christopher Sanchez with an incredible year, but the Dodgers have more good arms. But that being said, as for, hold on, let's talk about the hitters first. So I think for the hitters, it's going to be a slight advantage for the Dodgers. The Phillies obviously have great hitters with Schwarber and Turner and Harper and Stott, Castellanos, Romuto. The Phillies lineup is one of the most stacked in baseball, but it's not the most stacked. And the most stacked is the Dodgers, who have the big three. You got Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, which is dangerous by itself, followed by Hernandez, maybe Will Smith, Pajes, Muncy. Both of these offensive lineups are teeming with talent, and it's going to be a grind for every pitcher to get through this game, their game. But I think slight advantage to the Dodgers here, just because of who Shohei Ohtani is. And I think their big three is better than the Phillies' big three, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. Like I said, very evenly matched. But as for the bullpen, this is what I believe is the key to the series. The Dodgers bullpen has been shaky all year. And against the Reds, they looked very bad. Talking about a much lesser opponent, and they made it way closer than it needed to be, if we're being honest. They Should have beat them 8-0. Instead, they beat them 8-4. So it's a massive advantage for the Phillies, not because of how bad the Dodgers bullpen, not just because of how bad the Dodgers bullpen is, but how good the Phillies one is. I mean, you got Strom and Kerkering, and Yohan Duran is the closer. Um, Huge advantage for the Phillies, and I think that is the reason why the Phillies are going to win this series, is because the Dodgers bullpen is going to come in and they're not going to do well, and the Phillies are going to tee off on them. Although Roki Sasaki's been a godsend for the Dodgers bullpen, he's just one guy, he's not the whole bullpen. So Sasaki is good, but huge advantage for the Phillies. That is going to be the difference. Phillies in 5. Yes, I'm rooting for the Phillies big time in this series. I don't want the Dodgers to win. I'm a little bit biased. But even if I wasn't, the biggest Dodger hater ever, I'd still say Phillies in 5. I'm being realistic here. Um, yeah, Phillies in 5. It's going to be fun. All these series are going to be pretty fun, except maybe Tigers Mariners, but, you know, that one's for the vibes, I guess. Then the final series is the Brewers and the Cubs. NL Central matchup. The Cubs got here by beating the Padres in the wild card series, and that went 3. Um, this series has some drama behind it. You got the Cubs, who have a great lineup, and the bullpen was fantastic in the wild card series. Um, and their manager, Craig Counsell, was the Brewers manager who left for Chicago for more money. And then Pat Murphy comes in, old school guy, and this Brewers team has been unbelievable this year. They didn't start out the hottest, but ever since May came around, holy moly, they've been good. They won the most games in baseball. They do it by being pests, man. They work counts. They hit the ball around. They play good defense. They steal a lot. Um, good baseball team. Probably the opposite of the Dodgers or the Phillies. And even the Cubs. The Cubs have the big guys. The Brewers really just have Yelich and a whole bunch of other guys to do a great job at Brewer baseball. So there's obviously drama there with Craig Counsell, and obviously these two teams are so close to each other. They don't like each other. Um, yeah, it's the ultimate pitching and defense team versus guys who are a lineup that's pretty stacked. I mean, you got Bush, the top of the lineup, PCA starting to find it. Suzuki, Happ, Horner, Cal Tucker, Yancy Swanson. I think as for the lineup, probably advantage Cubs just for power, but in general, it's pretty close. Like I said, the Brewers, they win games for a reason. Maybe not the most exciting team, but they win games for a reason. Um, for pitching, advantage of Brewers. Freddie Peralta, Quinn Priester, they have depth there. And as for the bullpen, I'm not really sure. I say the Brewers have the best back end relievers. The closer and the setup guy are both elite. Or if they're not elite already, they will be. I mean, Uribe's got a great arm. But the Cubs bullpen showed up and showed out in the 3 games of the wild card series. So, I think slight advantage Brewers. But overall, the Cubs' deep bullpen is very good as well. I think this one's also going to go 5, and it just goes to show how excited I am for these series to happen, because I think 3 out of 4 are going to go 5 games, and I think they're all going to be down to the wire entertaining, which is good for us fans, because good postseason baseball it's a blessing, man. It really is. Brewers in 5. So just to recap, I got the Mariners advancing in 4. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays in 5. Phillies over Dodgers in 5, and then Brewers over Cubs in 5 as well. Let's take a look at the starting matchups for today and see who's gonna be pull ahead today. It's gonna be the first game of the day is Cubs Brewers. Going for the Cubs is Matthew Boyd. He's 14-8 with a 3.21 in the regular season. And then as for the Brewers, it's going to be their ace, Freddie Peralta, 17-6 with a 2.70 ERA, 204 strikeouts, which is 9th in baseball. advantage there, Brewers. But like I said, it's Boyd is an all-star. Peralta is an ace. I think he was an all-star as well. Those are two very good pitchers, and that's going to be exciting. First game of the series to watch. I think Brewers take it behind their ace. Then as for the Yankees and Blue Jays, Luis Heel, the rookie of the year from last year, will be making the start in the game one. And then as for the Blue Jays, it's going to be Kevin Gausman, the former Giant. And I think he's very good. He's a great pitcher. Obviously, I love Kevin Gausman. But one thing to keep in mind, um, you know, the Kevin Gausman's only postseason start of his career. Actually, that's not true. He has made other ones. But his only start for the Giants, he got shelled. We gave up 8 runs in that game against the Dodgers. Um, so maybe that gives the Yankees the advantage here. I'm not sure. It is game one. Blue Jays are going to be loud. I think Yankees might take it today. Dodgers and Phillies. This is another exciting pitching matchup. Going up for the Dodgers is Shohei Ohtani making his debut as a pitcher in the postseason for the Dodgers and in general. He never made it with the Angels, so this is the first time Ohtani will pitch in a postseason game. He's going to be starting going up against Christopher Sanchez, who had really one of the best years. It's the best year he ever had, for sure. I mean, I don't know where this guy came from. The Giants faced him early in April, or mid-April, early in the year, and he dominated it. I didn't know who this guy was, but man, he's fantastic. 13-5 with a 2.50 ERA through 202 innings, 212 strikeouts. I mean, this guy balled, man. Like, wow. Yeah. So I think advantage Phillies there, although Ohtani is a great pitcher. But here's the thing, though. Um, Ohtani coming back from the injury, don't know how long he can go, which means there's going to be a turnover to the Dodger bullpen, perhaps early in the game. That could be the difference. And then, as for Tigers Mariners, the final game, Troy Melton will be taking a pill for the Tigers. He was 3-2 with a 2.76 ERA through 45 innings pitched. So he did not play very much. Yeah, he didn't play very much. So I think advantage Mariners already. But George Kirby will be starting. He was 10-8 with a 4.21 ERA through 126 innings. So the ERA does not look good, but he is the game one starter, and you know the depth they have. So I think today it's going to be Brewers winning, Yankees winning, Phillies winning, Mariners winning. So basically, every team that I predicted to win the whole series is going to win today. That's just what I feel, and it's going to be so entertaining. So I'm going to watch all these games, all the games that I can. Of course, I do have something in later in the afternoon, but I'm gonna try and watch every game for you guys so we can talk about it. And I'm so excited. I love playoff baseball, and I hope you guys watch some games today and have a good day. It is a beautiful day today. So, yeah, go enjoy it, watch some baseball, spend time with your families, do whatever. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow.